Okay, good morning, students. Today I'm going to explain you the summary of Yvonne's tries O level. Before we start with the summary, let's find out the introduction to the lesson. The story Yvonne's tries and O level is about a cunning prisoner Yvonne who makes a plan to escape from the prison on the day of his German O level examination. The jail authorities, on the other hand, are ready to cover up any sort of risks. Will he be able to succeed in his escape or not? That we will come to know. The story starts with a telephonic conversation between the governor and the examination board secretary. The prison authority want to conduct an O-level examination in German language for a prisoner named Evans. The secretary asks about the venue of exam, where it will be conducted, and also about the invigilator for it. The governor replies that exams can be conducted in Yvonne's cell and a churchman will be appointed as an invigilator for the exam. They both then end their conversation by deciding on how and when the exam will be conducted. A senior prison officer, Jackson, visit Yvonne's cell prior to the examination day to conduct an inspection so that if any weapon, any sharp weapon may be hidden, they are going to take it out. Otherwise, he might injure himself or he might injure anyone and escape from the jail. So they don't want to take any kind of chance. Jackson visit Yvonne's cell. They are going through this checking because Yvonne had successfully escaped from prison earlier also. The episode gave him the name Yvonne's the jailbreaker because no jail could keep him for a longer period of a time. Right now, he is in a jail known as Oxford Prison. And before that, he had already broken the jail twice. Broken means todtan nahi. Broken means that he had escaped from the jail without harming anyone. The governor was not ready to take any risk with this as it could bring a bad name to him. Jackson and Stephen checked the cell thoroughly. They had taken away his nail scissor earlier, and Jackson ordered Stephen to take away his razor blade as soon as he had done or finished up with his shaving. Jackson ordered Evans to take off his hat but left it because Evans requested him not to do so, as it was his lucky hat for the exam. All sort of arrangements were made to keep a check on Evans. Even a microphone or a telephone was placed in his cell. On the day of the exam, McClary, the churchman, reached the prison and was assisted, helped by the Stephen. The governor was informed that the exams was about to begin and the cell did not have any kind of sharp weapons. The governor ordered the officer to check the churchman, that is invigilator McClary, so that Yvonne may not use any belongings of McClary as a weapon. The churchman invigilator was thoroughly searched, and while searching him, they found a paper knife which was taken away on a pretext of security reason. Then he was ordered so that he could not escape. During a search, Jackson found one abnormal thing in the McClary's bag. It was a semi-inflated tube. When asked the reason for keeping it, McClary said that he had to use it as he is suffering from hemorrhoid, that is piles. The exam began and everything being spoken in the cell was constantly heard by the governor. Meanwhile, a phone call from the examination board for some correction in the question paper made the governor suspicious. He cross checked it by dialing the number again, which turned out to be busy. Then again, there was a phone call from the magistrate demanding a police officer and a van. Such things were suspicious to the governor, but he calmed down as he was sure of his arrangement that this time Yvonne would not be able to escape from his jail. Stephen stood outside the cell, the duty which was given to him, and peeped inside after every minute. It was always the same, but later on, he noticed that Ivan had put a blanket around himself. So, himself, at first, Stephen thought that he should go and inform his superior, Jackson, about a slight change, but then he pacified himself that it might be cold inside because the sunlight never enters in the cell of Yvonne. So Yvonne might be feeling little bit cold or chilly. So he allowed Yvonne to cover himself with his blanket. Later on, the exam was conducted and this was over. And as the governor ordered on the phone, Stephen accompanied McClary to the gate. Everything went as planned, and Stephen was very happy with his work. He, at least governor would be happy with him. And in future, he would be given more work to do. To be sure of himself, he again went to the cell for a final look before going for a cup of coffee. He was shocked to see McClary lying in a pool of blood. Soon the news spread that Yvonne had injured the invigilator and had escaped from the jail by impersonating McClary. McClary, who was badly injured, was taken to the governor as he had some important information regarding Yvonne. McClary told the governor about the photocopy being placed on question paper which shared the escape plan with Yvonne's. The governor tried to decode the German language because already when he was in 6th standard, he had studied German language. So governor knew little bit of German language. And while he was going through the question paper, he found out that Yvonne would reach Newbury after his jailbreak. Soon Superintendent Carter was called and McClary was sent with him to catch Yvonne's because only McClary knew how Yvonne looks like. And it was McClary who was insisting governor that he knew where Yvonne had gone. And he was telling or he was insisting that they should go to Newbury because Yvonne had gone to Newbury. Meanwhile, he then ordered, superintendent, okay, both Jackson and Stephens were scolded for being unaware about Yvonne having a false beard and the churchman belonging in his cell. And he also, governor said it was not he who was ordering Jackson and Stephen what to do during the time of examination. They should have understood, they should have recognized his voice. Clear. And now then, he called Inspector Bell. Clear. And he ordered both Jackson and Stephen to go to the Adelaide police station and meet Chief Inspector Bell to find out about Yvonne. Meanwhile, Carter called up to inform governor that McClary had seen Yvonne at a Redcliffe, near Redcliffe. So governor and McClary was sent to Redcliffe Hospital. Now, the governor made a call at a Redcliffe Hospital to come to know about the man named McClary, whether he had been hospitalized or not because he was badly injured. The governor got another shocking of his life. There was no such man with the name McClary admitted in a Redcliffe Hospital, though an ambulance was sent to carry the injured man. Clear? Now, when the search was going on, at that time, governor understood that the McClary was not a real McClary. He was impersonate. Clear? A real search for McClary went on, and they found that real McClary was tied up in his house. And then he told them that the two men had come and they had taken away all his things and they had tied him with the chair. So he was found gagged and bound. Here, meanwhile, Yvonne had reached the Golden Lion and was enjoying his freedom. He was very happy that he was able to escape from the jail And now he has very tactfully, cleverly, he has sent the governor and his men to Newbury, where they will never found him. And when he reached the hotel room, he got a shock of his life. The governor was sitting in his room. He told Yvonne that he had all his men around, so there was no chance for him to escape again. The governor asked him about his plan, that how he could escape when there was such a tight security. There was three-layered security was there. How could he escape? Then Yvonne said every bit to him. Finally, the prison man was called to take Yvonne to the prison. The governor felt proud of catching him again. As soon as the van started, the prison officer unlocked Yvonne's handcuff and asked the driver to drive fast so that the police could not catch him again. Finally, once again, Yvonne managed to escape from the clutches of police with the help of his friend. So now the question arises from where he got all those things. Did you remember when he had covered himself with a blanket? Yes, under the blanket, he was changing himself. The man who has impersonated himself to wear McClary was a man of Yvonne. And while Stephen was looking into Yvonne's cell, he noticed McClary's appearance. So McClary was carrying two beards, which was coming out off and again. It was in danger of being fallen down. So he was just patting it. McClary was wearing an heavy spectacles. There were two lenses in it. He was caught hold of his collar because he was wearing two collars. And did you remember when McClary was going at that time, he was looking somewhat slimmer to Stephen? Yes, he was wearing two long coats. So McClary was carrying two things. And when Yvonne and under the blanket, they were exchanging. Remember one thing? When Jackson forced Yvonne to remove his hat, he refused, saying it was his lucky charm. Because what Yvonne has done, with the help of that nail razor, he has cropped his hair in an uneven shape. So when McClary entered in the jail, he was sitting in Yvonne's cell. At that time, Stephen had seen that McClary was having a hair which was uneven cut. So these everything was done. Now you are going to ask me about the blood. Yes. Remember the semi-inflated tube? Yeah. Yvonne told governor that there was a pig blood mixed with human blood and a sodium bicarbonate, which makes or stop